Hidden Object Guru here, joined by.
The Gun Wrangler.
We're back for a little bit more division and chatting about, let's face it, the one of the best second seasons we've seen of television.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's I'd say it's pretty impressive. That's right. We watched the rest of Barry, and it was fantastic. We also watched some. We also watched the rest of the first season of American Gods, so that should be good too. But first, let's talk Barry. I'll just say it. I'm amazed Fuchs made it out alive.
It wasn't from Barry's lack of trying, and I would like to note
God, it was not
that
Barry's lack of trying.
I I
Yeah.
did call it.
Oh yeah, because Barry has been pushed so far all season that of course at some point you were totally right he was going to break and just go berserker nuts and just start shooting everybody. And the thing is, it's like these guys are all gangsters, yeah, but they're all gangsters
That
half
he
drunk
knows.
or drunk at a party. None of them are, none of them are holding their guns. None of them are expecting a fight is about to start. So, of course, he's able to just start massacring people. And is there a sadder moment in TV this season than Marebeck being like, oh, thank God Barry's here, a minute
Eh,
moment before he gets shot?
well, he he was drawn down on him, so I'm not going to be like, oh yeah,
No, no, no. I'm not saying, like, I don't understand why Barry did it, but the thing is, the guy didn't know Barry was coming to kill him. He knew
yeah,
there was gunfire in the thing. He knew there was gunfire in the place, right? He knows there's an attack going on. He's stacked up. He's ready to shoot whoever comes through the door. And when Barry comes through the door, he's like, oh, good, Barry's here. Everything's going to be okay. And then he gets shot in the face
yeah.
because Barry doesn't care anymore.
And well, Barry did care after the fact,
Oh,
but
he
I'd like to
does,
point
yes.
out that I was right about McBitchface and her, shall we say, vanity. How about
I
that?
don't know that it is vanity. I think the fear got to her at the last. I mean, it's clear what happens in the episode. Like the fear got to her in at the last moment. And if like you want to know clearly what makes, I mean the episode was titled Berkman over Block, right? Berkman greater than Block. And if you
Yep.
want to know what pulls the final trigger, right? For for Barry to go nuts and kill everybody, it's got to be that it's like after everything he went through with Sally to get the
Yep.
performance to a real place to do all of this, and at the last minute she cops out and does, of all things, what Fuchs said to do in the first place.
Well,
Just tell a happy story that people want to hear.
there's also the fact that she slaps him,
I don't
and
think, but I mean that was what they originally did in her first version of it. Like,
no, I meant like off stage.
oh, off stage to try and get him into that place. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with physical assault.
Yeah.
In addition to being criminal, probably not the best thing to do to your, you know,
Yeah.
intimate partner.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. But the thing is I mean, if you look at the some part of that is the method that Gene teaches is to blame for some of that. All right, so do we have a mission to go to now?
We have several
We
missions.
have
We
several
have Madison
missions.
Madison
Ooh.
Hospital, which isn't bad.
Madison Field Hospital. Okay. I will
Yep.
load that up. Let's head on over there.
I just
Uh,
love how the city feels still so lived in,
yeah.
still
Oh yeah, like this
very
is a place
vibrant.
that. Well, no, not only that, but it's like the way they've decorated the place to look like. Yeah, this is 2 months of people camping. Like, it looks like the results of 2 months of people camping and all services shutting down in New York. Like you buy that this is the state it's gotten to.
Well, I'm over here, and along the wall right outside the post office
Yeah.
is a huge wall of missing posters.
Oof.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's bad.
And, like,
That
it
is
feels
roof.
lived in, and it's,
Yeah.
there's overturned gurneys, and
Oh yeah. And it's like at some point people have stopped cleaning, and this is the result.
Yep,
Is this a dead guy right here?
that is a dead guy.
Oh God, come on, people! Your home base is right here. Move the dead guys out of the way at least.
Well, I'd like to note that we did, in fact, just liberate
Yeah,
the.
that's true. But I'm saying they've already got a base set up inside.
Well,
Whoa! Hey
we-
there! Somebody's blowing stuff up. No, but I see what you're
This-
saying. But the thing is, the slapping him in the face is within the framework of how these people try to get themselves motivated. The bigger betrayal of Barry is after he did all of this work, after he went through all of this emotional journey with her facing up to her ex-husband. After
and
all of
pushing
that,
his own limits.
yeah,
And, like, he
no, it pushed
roundly
him as
violated
far
his
as he had
own
gone.
limits.
Exactly, like to get a true performance for this moment. It's an artistic betrayal more than her slapping him. That it's like leaves Barry completely adrift. Like after all of this, after everything he's gone through to get to the place she needed him to get through, to at the last minute do the terrible version, the version of the story that she was just insulted by the previous week and didn't take a pilot. Whoa!
Well,
I mean, it's a betrayal. It's a complete betrayal of Barry. Absolutely. Like, is it
and the
any
fact that I'm
wonder?
pretty sure their relationship is at an end
Oh,
after
yeah.
what she said. And,
I mean, we'll see, but yeah, it's
None
it's
too
rough.
soon.
It is.
Oh, that's
it is
cool.
rough.
check out my shield.
Oh, nice.
You can see where a bullet struck
Oh, really?
my ballistic shield. Yeah, look.
You can in your game, not in mine. Yeah, they're keeping track. That is not being. That information is not being sent over to my computer by the server, because I'm sure they don't keep track of shell casing positions from your gun. Actually, that's a really good question. I need to test something here. All right, are there bullet holes in the wall? No, there are not.
Hold on.
No, there's no bullet holes when I shoot things. That's bad.
I can
Oh.
actually see your individual. Oh, they disappear, but I can see shell casing.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm just saying my shell casing positions are probably different than how your. Okay, bullet holes on the wall. You shoot the wall. Did you see me leaving bullet holes?
I see you're leaving bullet holes right
Okay.
there.
All right. So yeah, they are taking care of that, but they're not taking care of bullet marks on your shield. Weird. But yeah, it's a complete betrayal of Barry. You're totally right about that because she chickens out at the last minute, and I think the fact that it was Fuchs's advice, whether or not Barry knows it, that is such a double betrayal because it's like what she does at the end. What did Fuchs say? Just tell people a story, a fun story they want to hear. People don't want to know about what real life is like. It's a story. And that's what she ends up doing. She tells the story version. Because as we found out this episode, it's the story she told herself to make her life easier. This fantasy version where she stood up to her husband, where she didn't just flee from middle America out to LA. She told herself this fantasy version so she could feel good about herself. And then that's what she did on stage. And just like Fuchs said, everybody loved it. Everybody
Yep.
comes up to her and talk about how that's, it was so brave of you to do that, and it's so incredible that you can come out and tell your story. Oh, so amazing. And by the way, best punchline of the entire season happened during the theater
Which
piece.
one?
Best punchline of the entire season. So we see, while they're prepping the theater piece, right? She's like, it was a horse walking down the street. You all see horses all the time. Get it?
Yeah.
And this is the most interesting thing that's ever happened to you. The most significant thing in your childhood. It was a horse in a city. It looked right at me. So she's doing the piece, right? And she's saying, why are you not responding? It was a horse in the city. And it's like, look, see, city, horse, me as a child. Well, that's not actually a picture of me as a child. I lost all my childhood photos when my uncle burned down our house with my mother still inside of it.
Yeah.
Best
that came,
punchline of the season.
that came
And
a
it
little
took-
bit out of nowhere.
Well, but that's the thing. 6 episodes we waited for that punchline. Like, the setup was 6 episodes ago. That's amazing. Oh, God. Such a good joke. I was blown away that it's like, I had forgotten you know, her horse. I mean, I remembered the horse thing passably, but I had forgotten like the details of the horse thing. And then suddenly, oh, her mother was murdered in a house fire. Her uncle set, and it destroyed all of her childhood possessions.
Yeah, that
Jesus. But the thing is, even that amazing joke reinforces the narrative of what are these stories we tell us to help us cope.
that's another
Yeah, sorry, go.
quick aside. Um, this is one of those things I do love about this first division. It's a very human story.
Yeah.
You just heard Fei Lao just go, "Hey, you know, my dad's heart would break to see this because we used to watch games here as a kid, and it was like kind of our
Yeah.
thing." It's
That's
very
a beautiful yeah. That's a beautiful thing to put in there because it's, as you say, it's just now the place is a field hospital that has been overrun by looters.
Yep.
Yeah, Jesus, that's a downer.
This is it's a very human game, and which
Yeah, it
is
But that's what you were telling me last time, that it's about that they really take the time to put in the experiences of the people, like the feeling real experiences of the characters going through this. Like
Yeah.
it's not just a setting. And you're telling me that that's kind of what Division 2 feels like, where Ruin DC is just a setting?
oh, you got to collect some art pieces now. I'm like, oh, come on, guys,
Don't
sort
you
yourselves
get it?
out.
We can't let those looters get the Smithsonian. What?
That's actually a mission.
That's actually a mission? Oh no. Oh god, that's terrible. I hope there's no mission in this where it's like, we've got to go defend MoMA. No, we don't.
No,
really
we
don't
have to get
go.
water from the MoMA.
Oh, nice. Defending artwork at the Smithsonian. But yeah, and that's what I found interesting, because even this, and this is how layered the show is, right, and how well structured the show is, that even when it's just a punchline that they spent all these weeks setting up, it still reinforces, because this woman has had this trauma in her childhood that she has so so disassociated herself from, that now she doesn't even think of it as an important thing that happened to her, compared to that time there was a horse walking down her street. Oh god. And
Well,
but in the
yeah.
same time, we find out that in the 7 weeks the guy has stopped believing in aliens. Like off screen in the past 6 weeks or 5 weeks, he's
It's
gotten to the
just-
point where he can tell the true story of his dad.
Where, yeah, he's just a fiend, and that's
He's
it.
just a drug fiend, and he ran off, and I used to see him begging outside the liquor store. Jesus Christ. And so at the same time, we've got these characters. Barry is trying to face up to his real thing. That guy's facing up to his real thing. We've got these other two characters who have built up these shells around them. And the most tragic version, of course, is Sally, who forced everyone else to, face up to their own stuff. And at the last moment, couldn't
Punks
cope.
out.
Yeah, at the last moment, she just couldn't do it. Like, that's beautiful. Oh, it's such a tragedy. Well, but again, the whole show's a tragedy. So here's something that I think is going to make you feel pretty good. I watched a bunch of Bill Hader interviews
Yep.
around the week of the finale, and
Yep.
his big takeaway is essentially constantly being a little surprised when people refer to the show as a comedy.
Yeah.
He's like, this isn't like, there's funny stuff in it, but it's not a comedy. You know? And
It's like calling Game of Thrones a comedy.
oh yeah, exactly. Except, well, Game of Thrones isn't half hour, so there you go. And it's like, that's all they care about, the fact that it's half hour. Oh, that means it's a comedy. No, Barry is not a comedy. It has comedic moments. This is first and foremost a bleak drama about PTSD and a hell of a lot of other bleak stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I really enjoyed. So Hank, not in the pilot they wrote, not in the original pilot they wrote, he ran into a guy who was Russian and just like that.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh my God, what if, and he was the most solicitous guy in some store he went to, and he had this thick Russian accent, but he was super upbeat and solicitous, and he's like, how fantastic would it be if the mob guy had a sidekick exactly like that? And that is where Hank came from. And
Really?
Hank got, yep. And Hank got killed in the pilot. Barry was supposed to shoot him in the face when they were doing that little shooting at the car. And and then like before they shot that, I guess they were like they actually sat down in a conversation. It's like, do we really not want to have Hank in the show anymore? This guy's so good, right?
Well,
That we should just keep him around.
let's go back to something very important.
Yeah.
Not only is the character really good,
Yeah.
but now NoHo Hank.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we'll get there in a second. We'll get there in a second at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But I just want to tell you this wonderful story. So apparently they have 100% signed off on the guy who plays him just doing all the improv he wants, because maybe our favorite line this year, improv. Because Barry says, "Am I an evil person?" And the line as scripted was, "Of course not. You know, you're just the best at what you do," and blah, 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 blah. And the guy who plays Hank was like, "Of course, you're the most evil guy I know. Do I not tell you that enough?" And that's what they went with in the episode.
That
And
is
it's so, like, I love that was an improv.
I love that entire scene in general, just because it's
such a perfect scene. Yeah. But yes.
he's trying to be so supportive.
I know. He loves Barry so much. And he's trying to be
And-
so supportive and help him through this thing.
I mean, I'm sad that Barry bladed him in the end,
Yeah. Oh.
but I'm pretty sure that he'll be forgiven.
Oh, I think they can sort this out between the two of them next year.
Well, remember, NoHo Hank at the end.
Running things in LA.
Well, that's essentially what he's doing now.
Oh, absolutely. Well, as you pointed out, because you like messaged me right after the episode, and it's like, did you see that bullet? And I'm like, oh God, yeah, it's the bullet that he was supposed to use to kill Esther.
Yeah.
Like, he kept his head down the whole time, and the second Barry was gone, he ran out, saw that Esther was dead, dropped the bullet on the body, and he's like, whew. And I didn't even notice it, and you pointed out to me that Barry killed most of the two rival gangs and some of the Chechens.
Yeah.
So Hank's in an incredible position right now.
More importantly, he killed his main threat to power.
Yes, well, Barry killed the guy who had, who was ready to take over the whole unit. He killed Merbeck, the guy they all respected. So it's like, Hank is in this perfect position to, like, take his leadership back. It's like, all of this could not have worked out better for Hank. Because he's satisfied the guy's back in Chechnya, and he's back in charge of his team. Right, like everything's
And the
working out for
traitorous
him.
elements are out.
And not so much traitorous elements as the guys who didn't think Hank could get the job done correctly. As they said, the funny part is the other Bill Hader thing that was so funny was that apparently he did Hank was doing every different take. He was doing the yell at the accordion player differently, and he could not keep a straight face. Like,
Really?
Bill Hader could not keep a straight face every time he had a new series of insults about how the guy was ruining the moment. And as a consequence, and at some point it just had to be like, they had to, again, Alec Bird had to take him aside and say, yeah, like, I know this is hilarious, but this is why the guy betrays him, at the end of the episode, so we need to get this shot. We can't not get this shot.
I'd love to see that outtake, to be honest.
I know. Like, this is a show that makes me want to see, like, are they doing commentaries for all the DVDs? Like, I think I'm going to pick up the DVDs if they do, because I need to hear more about the production of this show.
Yeah. That's one of the things I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's this?
this is a hobo.
Oh, you have some canned food,
Yep.
buddy. But anyway, what are
And
the
he
things you're
gave
really
us
excited?
his gun. That's
He
all
gave
right.
you a
Well,
gun?
good luck.
Dude,
me
the
a
gun's
gun.
more important than the canned food. I would have just
Yeah.
given you the canned food. It's fine.
Okay.
All right, but anyway, you were saying about the show's production.
Have you noticed that after the episode ends, they have like a little mini interview with
I haven't watched those. Oh, I totally should.
really interesting. Yeah.
Oh.
I actually also, before I forget,
Mm-hmm.
the gunplay in this episode is pretty good.
Really?
It's not John Wick good, but
Yeah, well, of course, but
the mechanics are good.
yeah, and he's looking comfortable. He's moving correctly.
And I mean, he forgot some essential. Like, he did a perfect demonstration of why you don't just kick a door.
I know. Oh, his foot went right through. That was
It's like,
beautiful.
ah, balls, and you're like, yeah, well, no, that's
That's what'll happen to you. It's just it's just a thin wood panel. You got to hit right at the lock if you want it to fly, or right at the knob if you want it to fly open.
no, it's the lock. You hit it
It's the lock, yes.
directly above or below, depending on how tall you are.
Yeah, and that's where it's going to lever through. You're going to get enough leverage.
Yep.
Okay, so hey, people listening to this just learned something. Kick right at the right just above or below the lock if you want to force that thing open.
Hmm.
Hope they don't have a bar on the other side.
Oh yeah, you're gonna. If they have a bar on the other side, you'll know immediately.
Oh man, it's like such a great action scene, like great stuff in the acting front, and then, oh, I didn't see it coming. How he was gonna get Gene out of this. I didn't see it coming.
Neither did I, to be honest.
Yeah, like he's got the again beautifully structured show. 2 episodes, they give him a medal that says the debt is paid in Chechen, and she, had she had 2 episodes before she got killed, shot a Chechen gunman to death. Like, of course they would believe the Chechens did it. It's perfect. And then, oh god, and then he leans in. And I mean, we all knew what happened right there, right away. Leans in and tells him Barry did it. Jesus Christ. Oh, he's such a monster. God, he's such a monster. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm so excited for season 3.
I know. And I respect the fact that they're smart enough over at, what do you call it? How am I blanking on the word?
HBO.
HBO, thank you. To have renewed it after episode 2. Like,
Yep.
episode 3 is when they started getting ratings bumps from Game of Thrones. They didn't even wait for that. They renewed it after episode 2. And I'm like, oh, thank God. You guys get it. You guys get how good this show is. And I guess it's got the viewing levels they're comfortable with. They know it's an incredible critical darling, so more power to them. I think this is fantastic. Like, it's a great show, and it's getting the support it needs from a network. It's important to me now to be talking about this because I just watched all of The Inside, which is
I love The Inside.
yeah, you do too. We share a love for The Inside, which is one of the best TV shows ever on the serial killer TV show genre, and it never got a bit of support from the network.
Well, here's the thing. It came out before Criminal Minds was considerably
summer
less
before Criminal
shitty
Minds.
than Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
And somehow,
Yeah, well, it's the thing is, I think what it comes down to is, having just rewatched it, it is a hell of a lot darker and a hell of a lot less traditional than Criminal Minds. Like, Criminal Minds is so run of the mill. It's every cop show you've ever seen except about a more unpleasant subject, right? That's just what it is. Whereas The Inside is, Jesus Christ. Everything about this is so hard to watch.
to call it dark is
Such an
grotesque
I know.
understatement.
You're absolutely right.
Like, this was made in 2003, and you're just
No,
like,
2004, but yeah, like today there's stuff on that show they wouldn't put on television.
yeah, that's
And what amazed me about it, right, is there's no gore. It's just they're discussing the situation and the teensiest bits of gore.
no, there's a little bit of
A
gore, but
little,
not
but
enough.
not compared to Criminal Minds, not compared to 24. Like, it's the subject matter that makes it so dark. You know, it's not the violence. A lot of shows do violence. Here, it's the subject matter that they wouldn't put it on TV even today. All right, I don't know where you are.
I'm fast traveling to you, so
Okay, thank you.
just stop moving.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
All right,
it's
here I am.
yeah. I remembered it being as bloodier than it was, right? And then when I rewatched it, I'm like, oh my god, this isn't really bloody at all. It's just a really, really bleak story. They talk about it and they do quick cuts and you see a lot less than you think you see because it's
Yeah.
an incredibly well made show. And
It absolutely is.
oh my god. And everyone's so great in it. So you can watch, I found that episode. You can watch all of it on YouTube now.
Yeah, but with like
ITV bugs in it. Yeah, I mean, I would prefer it, I agree, if they released it on DVD, but they're never going to do that. You know,
I know.
or like get the master, like remaster it, get the original stuff, remaster it, and just put it on streaming sites, but they have no interest in doing that, so what are you going to do, right? Ugh, you just got to watch something that people taped on their DVRs on ITV when it aired in when it aired in Europe. Hell, I mean, you and we watched it before it aired on ITV because we were able to go to the internet contemporaneously. Because spoiler alert, this is kind of amazing. Spoiler alert, no, just kind of amazing. The people who worked on the show leaked it onto the internet.
hmm
And that's not something that happens a lot. I was kind of amazed. But yeah, people... Oh, weird. Oh, man. So these
Check
are
this out.
moments from... these are moments from the story.
This is
In
yeah.
hologram form.
This is basically a combination of surveillance data and visual sorry,
Wow.
facial software recognition
Yeah.
reconstruction. So you know,
Damn. That's roof. Can of goulash. Contaminated meat. Ugh. Well, that's rough.
see what I
Yeah.
mean by they made this game
Yeah,
very human.
They
'cause
put the
everyone-
care. You're right. Yeah, and I assume there's stories like that all over the place.
Yep. Watch out! You've got cleaners to your.
Oh, that's a
6.
bad guy. Oh. So what is going on with these cleaners? What's their deal?
They are former sanitation and firefighters.
And they've decided to just burn out the city.
Their philosophy is, this is the only thing that will save us.
Yeah, if they just burn out all of the infection themselves. Wow. Okay. It's not that I don't see where they're coming from. But yikes.
Like,
Dude, you
of
hid
the
next to
bad
a
guys
fire barrel.
in this particular game, I think they're the most sympathetic.
Yeah. And I
'Cause
gotta
they're
say, technologically adept given all the flamethrowers they're able to assemble.
Most of these people are firefighters.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they know all about it. Oh yeah, they got the little shields and the axes. That's nice. Didn't notice that last time we fought them. But now that you tell me that, it's kind of clear that they're emergency services personnel. They're still wearing bits of the uniforms and the orange vests.
Yeah.
Nice. Ah, the detail
Like,
work in this friggin' game.
Yeah, it's all the little details. Like, all of them are still wearing hit me vests.
Nice. Oh, so we got, by the way, it doesn't say great things about you that's what you call those.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a term a ton of people use for those.
I picked that up in the military.
I'm not surprised. But anyway, yay, blind firing for the win. All right, but Barry, we've all been very open about the fact that it's the best show on TV, and it really is.
Yep.
My final favorite thing that I got from watching all these interviews that I thought you would find funny was for Ronnie Lilly, right? What happened was the joke was supposed to be that it was like, and that's why, remember how I said that the little sign that he had gone to seed was that there was a Barcalounger in his workout den?
Yeah.
and that was supposed to be part of the original conception of the character, which is he was going to be a balding, out of shape dude, right, with a gut. And then the surprise was he can do Taekwondo, and so they went to the he's this Taekwondo genius, and they said, yeah, we can't do that, said the stuntman. A balding, out of shape, gut guy, like, who does awesome Taekwondo is not a thing that's real. That just doesn't exist. The only way to do it would be to, like, put a guy in a fat suit, and that would look ridiculous. So we can't do that. So they just hired the guy who ended up doing it, who, as they said, is, like, super handsome. So handsome, they made a joke about it in the episode afterwards. In the next episode, when, like, they show his headshot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like, and Officer Gorecki's wife left him
was sleeping
for
with, and everyone's like, him, Ronnie Proxon. And they're all like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we get that. It's so beautiful. Like, Loach. His name is Loach. But anyway, such a good and so, but the funny part was, and when they got that actor, right, that stunt performer, and actor, he told them, well, what happens is a lot of the guys who are really great at all of these martial arts, your kung fu guys, your MMA guys, your taekwondo guys, like I'm playing, what they'll do is they do a huge amount of competing in their 20s and early 30s, and they make a bunch of money, and they retire when they're like 35. But these guys have just ruined their bodies, and their joints ache all the time. And so he's like, I know a ton of these guys who keep, doing workout and never really out of shape, but who get high all of the time and are always half drunk because of the kind of torture they put their body through for 20 straight years. Wow, these guys are good.
Yeah, I am super on fire.
Yeah, are you, can I heal you? Or
yeah, you can.
Thank you. And they're throwing a grenade at us. Here it comes.
More than one.
Oh no, I'm on fire. Oh.
We did.
Wow, they're good at this, huh? So yeah, I just thought you would find that entertaining. That it's like they
no,
tried to
that's
do it
exactly
that way,
what it is. It's like these guys, even what's his face, Maynard from Tool was a big Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh, okay.
He's not that much older than us.
Yeah.
He's had both knees replaced.
Yeah, like it's hard, like what these guys do, it's incredibly hard on the body. So yeah, I get it. Damn. All right, so yeah, just an amazing show. Can't wait for season 3. Hopefully it comes out in a timely fashion and it doesn't start being like a Fargo thing, where we get a new episode of Fargo every new season of Fargo every 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Like, although apparently, according to Bill Hader, Barry is basically his entire life. So I think it's going to come out regularly until he's done with it. Like, he doesn't do anything but Barry. Like, this year of, he created that show. Oh my God, they're so good with these firebombs. He created that show, I'm blanking on the name, Documentary Now. And the hook was that every week there's characters played by him and Fred Armisen. And he was so...
his hand to us.
All right, well, we're going to be more careful this time. I'll stay back, you go up to the high point, and we'll just focus fire, get them as they move up. We got this. Hey, how do you dodge roll?
Space. How do you heal?
Left and right. Okay, I've got playing with a controller, so I'm going to ask.
Before we get down there, I'm going to
learn how to
double
heal.
check this, because I kept hitting V, which is what led is that.
G is grenade, V is heal.
V opens up my consumables.
Okay, that is weird. Yeah, because if
I just drank some water.
Okay. Not what I was hoping to do in this situation. Just going to see if I can find the... Oh, it's double tap A for me, for dive roll. Okay. I'll remember that in the future. But yeah, it's an amazing show, but this year he's been so busy, they did another season of Documentary Now, and it's all good, and he wrote on episodes, but he and Fred Armisen basically didn't star in any of the episodes because he's so busy with Barry. And all right, this is truly the last story. If you want to hear some amazing Barry stories, he did 100 interviews in the past month, so just go watch them. It was at literally the last minute they took all of the music out of Ronnie Lily. It had music until like 2 days before it aired.
That would have been unfortunate.
Yeah, well, exactly. But they didn't notice it until the last minute. I don't know if he said it or one of the other producers said it. It's like, try watching this without music. And they all sit down and watched it without music. And they're like, oh, okay, this is obviously way better. This is obviously far better. This is what we're doing. So yeah, it's, every part of this show is being worked on by artists who are at the top of their craft. Speaking of, we also watched American Gods.
Holy fuck.
That's a good 3 episodes. Hey,
those things. I love American Gods, especially Shane What's-His-Face's performance.
Ian McShane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's this episode, these set of episodes, you're like, oh, we love Ian McShane and we're having a good time, but I guess he's the bad guy?
Like, yeah, you start to be like, ooh, maybe this guy isn't so golden.
Yeah, like, we're having a lot of fun, but I don't know if he's the good guy in this situation. Because he wants to get humanity... Well, I mean, that's the thing. So I was trying to figure out exactly, ever since Crispin Glover showed up, I've been trying to figure out exactly what Mr. World is the god of.
He's the god of globalization.
Well, that's what I was about to say. He's the god of globalism. He's the god of, in a sense, atheism. He's the god of, we understand how everything works. He's the god of, everything is simple, everything is connected. And that is why... media, like, that is why celebrity, that is why the gods of celebrity and social media worship him. Because it's all this interconnected state. And as he said, it's like, okay, Vulcan, now you're the god of gun violence. And the thing is, these things, what do you call it? They all, you're the god of gun violence. So these things all feed into each other. I wouldn't say he's even the god of gun violence. He's just the god of, like, he went from being the god of the Forge to being the god of, He specifically says every time someone shoots up a school or a movie theater, it's a prayer to me. He's the god of gun violence. He's like, every time they feel the gun in there, they put a volcano in their hand and pull the trigger, it's a prayer. He is the god of, he's the god of gun violence. And that is the god they gave him.
God of guns. He went from being the god of the Forge to being the god of guns.
Yeah, and that is the thing is, that is what they've given him, right? They've given him a new position. They've rebranded him. In the same way that they offered to make Odin the god of everyone being watched over. Like, you're going to have to heal me before I go down for real.
Yeah, okay, so...
Yeah, but in the same way that they said to Odin, you can be the god of... You can be... a network of satellites with the potential to rain down, weaponry, hellfire on humanity. And it's like, and that's what you'll be the god of. You'll be the god that watches over us and might kill us, right? And it's like, that's exactly on brand for you. That's exactly who you are. So why not accept that? And it'll just be part of this new technological utopia where everyone worships the thing right in front of their face. It's an interesting idea, and once I heard that, once I saw that Vulcan had been made the god of guns, right? Yep. I really got, what they were saying, what Mr. World's offer to Odin had been. Like, it suddenly made perfect sense.
Yeah. We'll give you new life, but you bend the knee.
Yeah. Oh, oh my God, such a good character, such a good set of episodes. And I really enjoyed it. I thought this late in the season, are they really devoting an entire episode to how the faith of Ireland came over to America? But they were. And I thought it was a really good episode.
Well, all the episodes are really good.
Yeah. But I mean, especially because it's like that late in the game, as we're getting close to the big showdown, it's like 40 minutes of that episode is the story of this woman. And it's a great story, but you wonder, is it worth devoting that much time right here at the end of the season? And then you get to the end, and the payoff for exactly what happened to to Shadow's wife, Laura. Yes, Laura. In the first, when she died, and you're like, okay, now I understand how this all pays off. We still don't know why they need Shadow Moon. Am I supposed to disarm or just shoot these bombs?
I would recommend just shooting them.
Done. Firebombs are nasty.
Yeah.
They're really nasty. But yeah, and it's you've got Shadow Moon, right? And now everyone's saying, and this is the thing, because I assume this line has to go in there, because people are saying, people want to know what he's the god of. Is he a demigod? Like, what is the situation? And they actually have people full on say, it's not that there's anything special about you, it's that whatever has conspired to make it so you're the important person here. But they refuse to tell us why! And it's killing me.
I can understand that.
I thought I would know by the end of the season, but the season ends with famine.
The season ends with Aurora
Yeah.
finding herself once again.
Yeah.
And
deciding
rejecting
that, yes. Yeah, and getting rid
her new place in the world.
Wow. Oh my god.
And then you actually get to see what everyone knew.
Yeah.
That, oh yeah.
Keep going.
You know, Wednesday is Odin.
Oh yeah.
And
we all
Odin
knew
is
that.
not a happy god.
No, he's still got the power. That's the thing. Like, he might be an old man, he might be tired, but he still murdered Vulcan.
He still murdered Vulcan. He murdered a bunch of people and dedicated that to another god.
Yep.
In order to induce famine.
Yeah, to make sure that she had the power. Miss the gods. Well, yeah. And to ensure that she had the power to create famine, to make sure that, people would start praying to the gods again because their technology had started to fail them. Crop yields have failed and we're all going to starve. And once people start praying to us again, then we'll give them their food back.
Well, he makes reference to it a couple of times. He's like, well, listen, this was always a very simple arrangement. You pray to us, good things happen.
Yeah.
You make sacrifices, good things happen, because everything has a price.
Yep. Although, it's interesting, our leprechaun makes the point that, sometimes you pray to us and bad things happen. That's the thing about gods. They're capricious. They don't want good things to happen without them, but sometimes they just don't want good things.
Also a real factor. But I was thinking more in terms of, like, even look at the leprechaun, where
Hold on. Pause for a second. You were saying about the leprechaun.
All right, so the leprechaun essentially says, listen, I just want a small sacrifice.
Yeah. Oh. They always leave out bread for them.
Yep. Just, hey, remember, leave out a little bread. Everything's fine. Everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
We have an arrangement. And this is one of those things I find about American Gods. It's very much about contracts.
Yeah. Well, and they really point into that, which is when he essentially tells Laura that he's not her husband anymore because he sold his soul to Odin.
Yeah.
The deal's been made. He's not yours anymore. You may think you own him, but that's not how it works. Oh, they even screwed up it's not enough that she got killed. They even screwed up the the casino robbery, so we would have to go to jail. Because that's what a scumbag Odin is. And that's how long this has been going on.
Just remember, it's like looking down and seeing a snail.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily feel empathy. You don't necessarily feel one way or the other. You're a crunching sound.
You're still a scumbag if you step on it.
Oh, if you accidentally step on it, you're just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, except nothing Odin does is accidental. That's the difference. Yeah, we're less than he is, but he's got reasons for doing everything he does, and they're mostly selfish.
Well,
And
the way I describe it,
sometimes people get helped out by it too, but he's mostly selfish.
I'd say it's more like, okay, you're cooking. You got a chicken breast. You have a meat sacrifice. Something died to get onto your plate. Oh, you burned it? Oh, that's too bad. Get another one.
Oh God, not as compelling an argument when you're talking to a vegetarian, but there you go.
Well, yeah. I mean, your personal moral weakness is well known.
Yes, it's a weakness. No, it's a physical weakness, not a moral one. But anyway.
Well, it's also that, but
there we go.
see, whereas
Yeah.
I had a ribbon bison steak
For dinner, so.
last
Yeah.
night that was as thick as my hand and about as uncooked as I could get it.
Oh no, he set up a gun. It's not cool.
Watch out, guy behind you, coming up the stairs. Got him. Another one.
Yeah, I sent a bomb to take out their. Oh yeah, I see him. Oh, thank you.
my spinal column.
I set out a what do you call it? Ow, God. All right,
Tinker
you're
mine.
down. You're down. You're down. Can you
Yep.
crawl over to me?
No, I'm very much on fire.
Oh, you're on fire. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I'm out of bullets. Should have done that while I was looking for cover. No! Oh, that one. We were doing so well.
Yep.
All right. Well, we just got a checkpoint, so we're fine. But yeah, no, I see your point. I just don't know that if it completely follows to this, especially when we get to meet all of the Jesuses, which I really enjoyed.
That was pretty funny. The only thing I was really kind of missing
Yeah.
was buff Korean Jesus.
That would have been nice. Well, there's a bunch of other Jesuses we didn't see. Really cynical message in the first appearance of Jesus, though, where it's like the problem with it's like it's all great to love Jesus, but the problem is, loving Jesus, you often end up getting martyred.
Yeah. Well, he is
And yeah.
a god of essentially martyrdom.
Yeah, he's a god of martyrdom, and as they point out horribly in the episode, yeah, on one side of the Rio Grande, Jesus will help you get to the other side of the Rio Grande, and on the other side of the Rio Grande, Jesus will help them shoot you for crossing the Rio Grande. Like all of these militiamen consider themselves Christian organizations who are doing this for God and the United States of America, which they see as the same thing. And it's like, and that's the genius of that opening scene, because you're like,
That's
how does
actually
this...
not the point. Did you actually
It's
take a
part of
look
the-
at the guns?
I did.
And they
Were those
all
not
were
crosses?
Vulcan arms.
Oh, they were all Vulcan arms. I thought I saw a cross on there.
There were crosses on them, but
They were
They were
also
all-
Vulcan arms, yes.
yeah.
But see, I thought the reason there were crosses on the guns, because there's crosses on the guns and there's rosaries dangling from the guns, I thought the point they were making is, because it follows up in the subsequent episode, right, that these are all, like, there are that many different Jesuses, because that's how that many different people think about Jesus. So it's like there's the Jesus that saves you crossing the river, and there's the Jesus that keeps your hand steady when you're shooting children. Like, it's tough to worship. Like, there's no one Jesus to worship because so many people believe in this guy. How could there be any consistent idea of what he is or what he wants or what he believes? Like, and that's a really interesting concept, and that's why there's freaking 50 Jesuses hanging out at their mother's house.
Yeah.
Because she did resurrect him, and there's that little note that you want to talk about the most openly atheistic thing in there, in the episode? They full on process of elimination say God didn't kill Jesus. God was not responsible for the death of Jesus. Jesus was a guy. Spring brought him back. Jesus was a guy. Spring brought him back. Everyone believes in him. But she specifically says she can't bring back anyone a God has killed because, that'll screw with the order of things.
Yeah.
So the little subtle atheism jumping in there. No, there isn't a capital G God in heaven in charge of all of this. There's just the God that everybody believes in. So, given the way this world works, there is some sort of a god with some sort of power because of the belief of Jews, and there's some sort of an Allah with some sort of power because of the belief of Muslims, but there's also 50 Jesuses because of all the different kinds of
And
Christianity.
then there's probably like 50 kinds of God then
Yahwehs
too.
and Allahs, exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's the interesting thing, because why there's 50 Jesuses, because that is how all of these Christians communicate. Is they're not praying to God, they're praying to Jesus, because Jesus is your intermediary. And Jesus, according to this show, can be whatever you need him to be. Which is an interesting idea. Hey, here's a question I have. Maybe you can
Sure.
tell me. Well, you don't have to tell me if it. Well, you can tell me if it never comes up. We're gonna see that God that all of the drug smugglers pray to.
It wasn't in the book,
Oh, okay,
so I can't
but
say.
it might show up in the show. Because just as I was watching those guys praying to Jesus wanting to cross the border, I'm like, isn't there a saint that all drug smugglers and professional murderers pray to?
Yes, there is.
And considering that those guys have a lot of if you expand the show's logic, that
These people,
when they
yeah.
kill people, it's constant human sacrifice.
Or better yet, they actually leave very significant monetary and other
They
sacrifices.
do, and they kill people. Like, they pray to these people, to this god, before they go out to kill people, which
And they
kind
commit
of
horrible atrocities, like that
brutal
busload
human
of
sacrifices.
students that they just murdered.
that they murdered and then burned the bodies again. And if, according to the show's logic, you can read that as a sacrifice, an
Yeah.
offering to their saint, which means, I don't know if it's ever going to turn up in the show, but considering the way the world of the show works, I would be very interested to see whatever, I don't remember the name of that figure, but what that figure had going for her. That would be very interesting to me. But you're right, because they make cash offerings, they kill people in her name, so you put all that together and you've got a pretty interesting god of death.
Well, Santa Muerte is, yeah.
Santa Muerte, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
just had
could
to
be
think
what it
about that
turns out
out.
to.
I was like, I played Ghost Recon on the weekend.
Wildlands,
It's still a
yes.
very, mediocre game, but
Oh. I just like open world shooters, what can I say? But it's not as good as this?
no.
No. It was never going to be. Although my personal preference in it, in that kind of game, is when I shoot people in the head with an assault rifle, they die. I'm
just gonna
play
point
the
out that-
Division, then. There
Yeah.
we go.
If I'm hitting someone with, quad-aught buck from a shotgun at, like, point-blank range, you're not going to be like, oh, no.
Yeah, it's not this situation like in the Division where it's like, oh, well, you did 625 damage, but he's a boss, so what are you going to do? Nope, no, he goes down. But yeah, so amazing end to the season, right? The raising the idea, and that's what I found super interesting about that scene, is all of these, what Odin says to Spring, which is all of these new gods are gods of comfort and luxury and surplus.
Yeah.
They're the gods you have when you have so much free time on your hands that you don't have to pray. And again, that's something that talk about layered writing, really well-structured episodes. That's what comes up in the Irish Woman's Tale. When you get to a certain level of comfort, you start forgetting to pray and give thanks.
Yeah.
And the message of Mr. World is the whole world has done that, so now they're just worshiping things. And he is the god of things. He is the god of the world is flat and everything you see in front of you is all there is. Which is a crazy idea.
Yeah.
To be the god of that.
But at the same time, you have to, sympathize with him. Because
Oh, yeah.
even the most abjectly poor Indian peasant right now,
Yeah.
like,
Has a better life than the people who were worshiping Odin back in the day.
exactly.
Oh, yeah. No, I get where he's coming from. It's going to be a very interesting second season. I'm sad we didn't see Peter Stormare again. I mean, I guess they're holding that off
he's
until the
coming
big
back.
conflict. Oh yeah, of course he is. I mean, you don't bring Peter Stormare as the god of death to
Yeah.
not have him show up later.
As the Slavic god of death.
Yeah.
And if there's one
Yeah.
thing Slavs know, it's dying or killing.
Yes, both really.
Yes.
They got some bad winters in the Slavic nations.
They have
some
bad
bad
everything.
It's true.
Except
it's
for the
not a
food.
pleasant place to live. Oh yeah, no, even I agree to that. I mean, come on, pierogies. But anyway,
Latka. Even you can eat latka.
I can. Latkes are the best. Latke, pierogies. These are some
Slaw.
crafty people when it comes. Even all kinds of slaws. Yeah, I love their food. I would never deny that. So yeah, I can't wait for season 2. My question to you is, when does season 3 start? Do you know?
The reason why I By
You
the way,
wanted
I'd
to
like to
do
note
this
that,
first, as you know it's coming soon. I'm just saying, do we have to watch 3 episodes a week, or like, do we have to
Slow
get
down
this
the
done
roll.
in 3 weeks, or do we should like, what's the situation? When's it coming out?
It's going to be at least September.
Oh
we-
God!
we
So
can
it's
actually-
ages. We can just keep doing 2 a week, and then we'll just,
Yeah.
maybe refresh ourselves on it. I might rewatch, the last few episodes of season 2 before I begin season 3. As long as it's not super close, we'll be fine. I have to. If you could cover me and draw their fire, I gotta keep my head down
Come
for a
on,
little while I heal.
detonate. There we
There we
go. I'm in bad
Okay,
shape.
so yeah, American Gods season 1, really a stellar production. Like the characters are great, the story's wonderful. Just really, really love the visuals that David Slade and Brian Fuller have collaborated to create for this show. Oh no, you S of a B.
Are you? Oh, I'm out of. Oh,
Yeah, we're
I'm,
both down.
I'm both out of ammunition and dead.
Oh no, yeah, I was a little annoyed they didn't give us any ammo spawns before this. It's
There was.
very frustrating. Oh, there was. I just missed it. Okay, well now I'm embarrassed. Yeah, it's a just a God, such a good season. I can't wait for the second season. And the best part is, I don't have to because we're going into season 3.
The reason why I picked it was,
We're going to be able to. Yeah.
so here is the ammo thing.
Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Is because Amazon was very heavily promoting the season 2 finale, and I watched Prime
perfect.
like religiously.
Yeah, of course. All right, so yeah, we're going to be good to go then. That's great.
All right, so do we want to try this fight again, or do we want
Yeah,
to
no,
call it here?
we're going to call it here, but let's just try this fight. And if we lose, we lose. I'm not going to worry about it.
I also love this little speech where he's just like, "Yeah, no, this is."
Yeah. Oh. Damn. Yeah, that guy's a bit of a nut bar. I like him. I had to duck down behind cover until my heel.
It's not even that he's a bit of a nut bar. He's just like, listen.
And justify the means.
Well,
It's a bad
if you had
situation.
if you had like 90 people with bubonic plague in one spot,
I don't know if I'd be attacking them with flamethrowers, even in that situation. You tell me there's a bunch of corpses with bubonic plague, yeah, I'll set fire to that corpses. Don't know if I'm burning a room of people.
if they're already, shall we say, expectant,
Yeah, except a lot of these people they're burning are not in the last throes.
yeah.
Also, you could shoot them first, you twisted monsters. Before we go, I just want to say that something I didn't mention when we were talking about Barry was I went back and I watched the whole first season of Barry before the final episode,
Yeah.
just to get my head exactly in the right place. And what I learned by rewatching with the first season was that was an amazing first season of television.
Yeah.
It absolutely was. The second season is far better than the first season was.
Yeah.
It's a much better season of television, and I'll tell you why. One of the main reasons is, yeah, we're down. Oh my God, they rushed us hardcore.
Yeah.
I gotta get better at using grenades. One of the things that made it so much better is there's only like one dream sequence in the entire second season of Barry.
All right, let's just stack up here and call it a day, I think.
Yeah, we will. I just want to start shooting people. We
Right.
are calling it a day. I just want to shoot some people because, I enjoy doing that. But yeah, I just wanted to say the thing that I found so impressive was in the first season, they didn't have the confidence that they were getting people into Barry's head. So they would show you fantasies Barry was having, showing what he was thinking about. And in the second season, they're 100% confident that they are expressing what is in Barry's head, so they don't bother with the fantasies in the second season. And I respect them so much for doing it that way. Like, they could have said, no, Barry's fantasy sequences are part of the texture of the show, we're going to keep them. But they didn't do that. They 100% said, let's just keep it with what's on screen. And the one time they did it was the most important moment, because they're not going to pay the money to show us a flashback of when Fuchs came to get Barry from the psych hospital, right? They don't have the money to do that. So what they did was they do this beautiful impressionistic sequence where we see all of the people coming home and who's waiting for Barry, the visual of who Fuchs is in Barry's head. Not who Fuchs is in Barry's head.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant. It was a brilliant use of that. And they do it when he's had multiple concussions and is severely running out of blood. So it actually makes sense within the narrative. It's like such a smart move that the only time they did a fantasy all year was that. So yeah, way to go. They dialed back the fantastical elements. The show's one fantastical element, and the show was so much stronger for it. So yeah, Barry, season 2, better than ever. Join us back here next week. We're going to talk some American Gods. Hopefully, we will do better at Division than we did last time.
Well, these guys are like 2 or 3 levels ahead of us, and
Oh, that is an issue, isn't it?
Yeah. We're like I'm level 7,
I'm level 5 or 6 or something.
They're level 9.
Oh, okay.
That's why we're getting creamed.
That does explain it. But anyway, you were going to say?
Yeah, I'm super excited for more American Gods because, man.
Yeah, it's special.
I'm super impressed.
Yeah, I mean, and it's got me. Given how well this went.
Oh, Game of Thrones was such a disappointment. Yeah, because you're an idiot and followed Game of Thrones. This or The Expanse.
Well, the TV show Game of Thrones has been terrible since they ran out of... Actually, no, since well before they ran out of book. They're just garbage writers. They made a very bad choice at the end of season 4, and they ruined the entire show. But that's a conversation for another time. Join us back here next week. We're going to be talking more American Gods. It's going to be
all right. Do we have a quiz for the people?
Yes. I was hoping you would have a quiz about American Gods.
Okay. Who is...
Healing.
All right. Who is Shadow Moon's cellmate?
Oh.
His actual. I will not accept half measures. I want
who it actually is. Yes.
Who he actually is and who he presents as.
Oh, nice. All right. So that's both halves. What supernatural figure was his roommate, and who is he pretending to be? All right, that's good. Perfect place to wrap this up. Join it if you'd like to hear more from me. There's buttons coming up, question suggestions, quiz answer. Go in the comments section below the video. We will see you back here soon for American Gods Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2. Oh my god, these guys are stupidly powerful.
Yeah.
They're
level 9. You're
Okay, sorry, I got it.
They're level 9, you're level 6.
6, yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
And they're elites.
They are elites. That doesn't help either. All right, so we'll see you back here for that, but until then, au revoir.